When you've dreamt of something your whole life, there's no amount of work you wouldn't do and no distance you wouldn't travel to achieve it.
Combine finally here. All the training, all the hard work I done put in. I mean, it's gonna finally get to show. I get to show these people that I'm an athlete. They're trying me a lot right now, thinking that I'm not an athlete, whatever. But cut the tape on, you'll see a lot more than that. But I'm here to prove them wrong.
Indianapolis is a city known for its grit and hard-working people. So it's only fitting that college football's finest gather here every year for a week of grueling testing and examination. After another successful season, the Gators earned 8 invites to the 2020 NFL Scouting Combine, where they will have the opportunity to showcase their talents in front of NFL general managers, coaches, scouts, and the media.
For P. Ryan as a player, what I first remember the most is how he approached the meeting room. He wanted to make sure he was correct on everything. The one thing he didn't like was going out there and being wrong. So he wanted to make sure in that meeting room he knew exactly what was going on with the play, what was expected of him, and what did he need to do to get it right.
Man, you can't just be one-dimensional in this game. You got to be a guy who's able to do everything, and I feel like that's one of my biggest traits. I'm not just a one-dimensional guy. I'm able to catch the ball, pass, protect, just everything the NFL wants these days. So I feel like I can contribute very early.
His determination. When you go back and you watch games, even his junior year, when we had him on the front line of kickoff return, and Tennessee onside kicked us.
Onside kick, loose ball. What are the officials going to roll? They'll say Florida ball. It looked like LaMichael Pirine got it.
When he went up between 4 Tennessee guys and got the ball.
You got 3 guys trying to rip it away from him. That is a tough, tough play.
This past year at LSU, we threw kind of a fade route to the tight end, and it was kind of short. And he thought it was to him, and he went up and got that ball and took it away.
Looking to throw, lofts into the end zone, jump ball, caught, touchdown, off the carom by Pirine.
Against one defender, he puts it up, hoping that somebody makes a play. Queen actually got his hands on the ball.
I think Pirine ripped it out of his hands.
Yeah, it goes up in the air, and Pirine comes down with it.
He's a very, very determined runner and determined player, and very mentally tough kid.
Just to show what I've been showing all season, being able to catch the ball out the backfield, being a versatile running back, showing teams I was being to win one-on-one battles, being competitive as a player.
We've got running backs, Daniel Jeremiah. How deep is this class in your estimation?
It is loaded. It is an absolutely loaded group of running backs now.
You can go from the college gridiron to the NFL gridiron at this position and be a factor, as we saw last year.
Immediate impact, because we're going to see it from a bunch of backs this year.
It's all about quick feet every day. You get in the NFL, you're going to work on quick feet. So you're going to hug the bag. He's going to step with his inside foot. Toe pop. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
His vision, of seeing the hole and being able to balance his feet and make cuts, or being able to hit it on the run and make a cut without losing speed and power, those are the little bitty technique things that a lot of people may not notice, but he can do very, very well. He sees the hole and he can hit it. And then just his versatility is going to help him at the next level. Not being able just to run the ball, but his ability to move out of the backfield and catch the ball, or catch the ball coming out of the backfield. So he's such a versatile athlete that he's going to be a diamond in the rough for any NFL team.
It's a grab.
The importance of special teams cannot be overstated. And while most people may not consider specialists to be versatile athletes, Tommy Townsend is out to prove them wrong.
Because he's very athletic. You know, Tommy is a very, very athletic punter. You know, a guy that can run a 4.7. You know, as we watched him in agility drills, very, very impressive. You know, he can run with the skill guys, very fluid in what he does.
Tommy Townsend dropped 20 punts inside the 20 with only one touchback, so he's got a good feel.
Yeah, Gators, baby. Go Gators.
You know, we knew that, again, he was going to be special as we watched him do agility drills. He understands the game, very, very mentally tough, you know, and understands what's going on. You know, so you put a lot of trust and faith in him, especially when you call a fake punt, you know, knowing that he knows how to operate it and he can get the job done.
Tommy Townsend takes off on the fake. Can he get there? Yes, and the punter makes a huge early gamble by Dan Mullen pay off. He did that last year.
How about the speed by the punter? I mean, he got around the corner and started to pull away. Gutsy call, you're right, Chris, by Dan Mullen.
You know, he's a guy that can flip the game at any point in time he's in.
Townsend, whoa, great punt. Wow.
You know, being able to punch you deep and pin you back into your in your territory.
Coach Mullins, you know, his emphasis on special teams, he really came in, you know, pushed me and all the other specialists, you know, to get better and be, you know, precise with, you know, what we're doing on the field, off the field. Just hoping to go out there, just show, you know, consistent performance and maybe open some eyes a little bit.
The thing about a well-executed pass rush is you never quite see it coming. The same could be said about the emergence of edge rusher Jonathan Grenard.
The type of character person he is, I think it's important that you have those kind of guys within each room of your defense. Along with his ability to make plays, was a guy that, you know, I was really excited to get here. Tried to hide that excitement a little bit because you don't want to sometimes overspeak, but I knew that he would be a guy that could really impact our defense with, you know, not only his play style and everything, but his attitude, work ethic, and, you know, he's one of the reasons that we were so successful this year.
But yeah, Coach Grantham was down in Florida, and it pretty much was a no-brainer once I kind of seen the opportunity open up when Jakai Polite leaving and CC as well. So I seen that there was a void that was missing. So I feel like I could be that missing piece to there. And what better way than test my times on the SEC?
After the marker, 2nd and 13. Sawyer pressure, didn't feel it, and he is sacked. The football comes out. Jonathan Grenard came off the edge untouched. If you're going to block one player for Florida, you better block number 58. He's new to this team, but he is not new to sacking quarterbacks. He is an outstanding football player.
Well, I think it's his ability to make decisions quickly. I mean, he's very instinctive. Generally speaking, if he sees something once, he's kind of got it.
Yeah, I believe I can. That kind of separates me from a lot of the guys in my position here. I mean, I've played in all. I've played in the 4-3. I played in the 3-4. I played 4-2-5. All you name it. I mean, regardless, I can fit in any system. So if you turn on the film, you'll see me doing all those things and being pretty comfortable at it. That kind of just separates me from the other guys in my class.
When your defense registers 86 sacks in 2 seasons, it's inevitable that multiple pass rushers will receive a combine invite.
Being out on the practice field, I noticed he was twitchy, very good first step. And coaching a long time, he might be the most twitchiest guy I've coached in terms of reaction, first step, making moves, and that's the one thing that really stuck out.
10-7. Well, Zoo's a guy that is very talented. He's got some twitch, some explosiveness off the ball. That kind of showed up in the way he worked out at the combine. And he was a productive player for us.
Jabari Zuniga of Florida with a 1.64 split and a 4.64. Well done.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know, he has tape from his junior year that showed him rushing as an edge guy as well as an inside guy.
Down he goes again, another sack. Zuniga that time, and that's sack number 5.
And I think the combination of all of that is going to allow him to get drafted where he needs to be.
How good is this class of defensive linemen and edge rushers in particular?
It's outstanding. It's a really good group, especially at the edge rusher position.
Run, Zoo, change, stick your foot in the ground. Run, change. Back up. Drive. Finish.
I think that the thing that John brings as far as his character work ethic is doing the drills individually just like you do a group drill or a team drill and trying to win that drill.
He's got the build of a pass rusher, 34 and 7/8 inch arms, second longest among this entire group.
I think he's versatile enough that he can stand up if some teams want to look at him as a 3-4 outside back, and obviously he's played with his hand down. And, you know, his body's going to have to change based on what team wants him to do what. But I think he's versatile enough, and I think he's got the skill set to do it.
Wide receivers and tight ends at the field tomorrow there in Indianapolis. I'd like to know the prospect that you think and expect will steal the show in the biggest way.
And I'm going with the young wide receiver out of Florida, Van Jefferson. Okay. And I put the SOD right there because that right there stands for steal of draft.
When I think of Van, I think of smooth. I had a chance to watch him work his routes, his technique, craft. Everything you talk about when you start talking about being a smooth operator, a guy that can work his craft, set a guy up, get a little bit of wiggle off of him, and then come out of his break. Just being able to transition, it's special.
In the beginning, it was my dad. And, like I said, I remember countless times of us in the backyard or going to the facility just doing routes. I owe him all that. But then, like I said, when I got to Florida, Coach Gonzalez kind of, put a lot more stuff in my game that I could use now. So I can't thank those two guys enough. I just try to go in there, like I said, be the best, best person and best player that I can be. I think my character speaks for itself. I'm just a guy that, that loves to win and just loves to compete. So I just try to be, like my dad tells me to, just stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So I just try to stay ready in every aspect of my life, and that's pretty much it.
In the deepest class of wideouts in NFL Combine history, no team was represented more than the Gators.
This is one of the smartest groups of receivers as a whole. Working together, it's kind of like a machine and the gears on a clock, As one rotates, it moves this one moves this one moves this one.
Kind of makes the transition easy, not being here by yourself. So I got Van and Tyree with me, and, it made a smooth transition. So we're just having fun, taking it all in.
When I think of Freddie, I think of explosive. I think, a big play, Freddie Swain. I think a guy that when he touches the ball, there's a factor of being able to take it to the house.
He goes right down the middle and throws a strike to Swain. Swain might be on his way. Say goodbye, Freddie. Touchdown.
I think he's going to be a perfect fit for somebody if they get the opportunity to work with him, get him in a system, and be able to utilize his athletic ability, because when he touches the ball, he has ability to make things happen.
The 40, it's on the 30, it's on the 20, it's on the 10, dive to the pylon, he's in! Oh my, that's a touchdown, Freddie Swain!
When I think of Tyree, people say speed, I think of power, to be how strong he is.
And fires the ball down the field, a diving catch, oh my, Cleveland grabs the ball!
You're going to be able to need to do the things that he did here, to continue to build upon those and have an opportunity at the next level. I had an awesome opportunity to get a chance to coach them and teach those guys, and hopefully they took a little bit of me and took a little bit of what we're trying to teach here at the University of Florida.
You've got, again, 5 quarterbacks right there in your top 50, but that's nothing compared to the wide receivers, perhaps the deepest position group that we're going to see here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, it is deep and it is talented.
I think when it's all said and done, the 2020 class of wide receivers, it will go down as one of the great wide receiver classes. We have every shape, size, speed, so I'm looking forward to it. And also, the wide receivers are a lot stronger. Their bodies, to me, are more well put together than receivers I'm used to seeing coming into the league the last 15 years. So yes, this is one of the great classes that we have seen.
With scouts ready to watch the receivers in action, one Gator was sidelined due to a pre-existing foot injury that came to light during medical evaluations.
I had a chance to talk to him a little bit about just the reaction of how he was doing when he found out. You know, Van's a competitor. He's not going to let a small injury like this slow him down. He's not going to let something dictate to him. He's going to dictate to them. And I think he's going to take that same attitude with his treatment and training when he comes back from this injury. He's going to come back, he's going to work extremely hard, he's going to grind, and he's going to dictate on how quickly he comes back.
With the bond that these receivers share, Van stayed to watch, as it was time for Freddie and Tyree to show the world what they could do.
This dude is tough, too. He's a gunner on punt team, makes a bunch of tackles, really physical in the red zone.
Swain, Florida Gator.
A good slot receiver.
Hey, good job, guys. Good job. Hey, work on 3. 1, 2, 3. Work.
As the smoke begins to clear from a long week in Indy, there is only one group left for GMs and scouts to evaluate. The Gators' most highly touted prospect was ready to be put to the test.
I was here when we recruited CJ out of high school, actually, and you see his high school highlights, and his junior year, he played a lot of running back. And you see all the long runs and how fast and explosive he is. And he's like, for his senior year, he's not going to play in the offense. He wants to be a defensive back. And then, you know, you can easily see, well, he's a first-round defensive back just from the athleticism and all those things. So when I come and you see what he's done, it really is not a surprise because, like I said, you can see back in high school, he was such a gifted, talented kid.
Spade looking that way. Overthrown and picked off again. This is C.J. Henderson. Back-to-back interception return touchdowns for the Gators.
I just felt like I was ready for the next level and to take on that next challenge, to challenge myself.
I think anytime you have the ability of a C.J. Henderson, it allows maybe you to put your help somewhere else and understand that he's going to be one-on-one and that he'll win the one-on-one battles.
Going to throw again for the end zone, laying out, broken up beautifully by C.J. Henderson.
The biggest thing with him is the combination of his length, speed, and physicality. Because of the size of wideouts in the National Football League, he's going to be able to match that physicality, on the possession downs and in the red zone.
Fires, end zone, diving catch, incomplete. Broken up, Henderson was covering Thomas.
I think he'll be that guy who can be a top 2 or 3 cornerback in the NFL once he reaches his maximum ability.
So now today it's all of us taking in the back end of the defense, the secondary.
And we saw this receiver group really light it up here, and I believe the corner position is the second deepest position in this draft.
Every defensive back in this draft told me they can run a 4.3. So I guess we're going to see how that goes today. We'll see who wins. I think C.J. Henderson might be the fastest of all of them, the star from Florida.
Okay, now here's C.J. Henderson, who Peter Schrager was pounding the table for earlier.
He's going to end up going in the top 15.
Sub 4.40.
I think he's going to be the second corner drafted. And you can see the speed. You see the makeup speed on tape. It jumps at you. He's got a lot of juice. Henderson's had a good workout.
There you go. Well done for C.J. Henderson today.
The NFL Combine is a place where dreams can become a reality, where you can emerge as something more than just a face in the crowd, where with the right focus and determination, you can surprise people with a breakout performance, where your versatility and toughness can set you apart, regardless of what position you play. And while unforeseen roadblocks may arise, it's your strength and relentless pursuit of your goals that will lead you to a lifetime of success. When you've dreamt of something your whole life, there is no amount of work you wouldn't do and no distance you wouldn't travel to achieve. For these 8 Gators, that journey is just beginning.